Hey friends, how are you? Thanks for stopping by for today's video. Today's video is the second book in a duet. It's the BURN Duet by Abigail Davies. I did a video on the first book, which is called Fast Burn. I will include it in the description box below. So you want to check that out before you watch this one because you don't want to get any spoilers. And you know, I really do try not to give spoilers here on my channel. I do like to talk about the story and the characters, and I always mention that in the description box as well. But since we're talking about a duet and we're talking about the second book, just keep that in mind. The book is called Deep Burn. Like I said, it's by Abigail Davies. It's part of a greater series, I believe, which is the Easton family saga. I'm so mad that I have come late to this saga because these characters, they're exactly right up my alley. I love them, and I feel like because these are the last books, and this is her goodbye, this is her swan song of the series, I definitely want to go back and read the other books that she talked about. And since I've gotten to know these characters and the surrounding characters in this book that I know that those books are about, I want to read them. Deep Burn, of course, follows Elodie and Asher in their journey. Fast Burn left off at quite a cliffhanger. Abigail did not shy away from the subject matter in this Deep Burn, picking up where we left off with Fast Burn. It's really serious. I mean, I was in tears within the first chapter because we go right into it and it's still happening. And see, I'm even getting like a little teary about it because although I have never experienced that, I have friends that have. It's a lot, and I don't claim to know anything about it, but the way that Abigail wrote this, I thought she was thoughtful and it was impactful on my heart, and I appreciated where she was coming from and the journey that she took us on with it. It was a beautiful journey. I hope that everyone that experiences such a horrific event in their lives has the same journey that Elodie has, and has someone like Asher in their lives, and a family like his that's to support them. Where Fast Burn was about kind of Elodie finding her footing. I think technically this is a forbidden in the way that it's a age gap romance. Asher, I think, is in his younger 30s. I think if I remember correctly, and Elodie is 18, a senior in high school, and so, you know, that's quite a bit of an age difference. But if you remember from my video on Fast Burn, Elodie has lived a life already in her 18 young years. She has been responsible for herself as long as she's been aware of it. And so she's not your typical 18-year-old. With the subject matter and what happens to her, she still needs to be cared for. And she is still she's lost. And she's had this major event happen. And the beauty that I loved so much about this book was how Asher's family, because she has basically no family, how Asher's family embraced her. Oh my God, it was beautiful. Asher was the way that he was as a man because of his father and his mother and how he was raised. I loved that because I knew, even though I hadn't read Brody and Lola, which are his parents, their book, do they even have a book? I'm not going to claim to know all of the books in the Easton family saga. I'm sorry. I should have done that research. But I feel like there was more to their story. So even though I didn't know everything about them, The way that they are written in this book was just so, it just touched my heart so much. And knowing that Elodie was going to have that around her to support her, I was rooting for her so much. But poor Elodie just can't get a break. It's really sad and really emotional. All Asher's trying to do is like protect her and love her. Whew, it was a lot. I always like to share special moments, special parts of a chapter, things that the character said that really touched me, and this is something that Elodie says about Asher's family. Then there was me standing in the doorway of the kitchen watching them all and grieving for the family I'd never had. I'd never been surrounded by this much happiness, and even though part of me wished I had been, the other part of me knew I wouldn't be who I was today if I'd had this. I dragged myself through my short life. I'd clawed my way up to where I was. But it was at that moment I understood everything I'd fought for had been for a reason. Fate had sent me on this path, but I couldn't help wonder if I'd maybe taken a wrong turn somehow. Maybe I'd veered into someone else's lane and gotten all of their bad juju too. Or maybe I was exactly where I should have been. I loved this family and how they embraced her. We get a bit more about Asher and what he's dealing with as far as his, his frame of mind, where he's coming from, his PTSD. We know that he was in the military. We know that he had some friends die. We know that he tries to help friends that are coming back in re-entry. That's part of Fast Burn. We get a little bit more about it in Deep Burn, and I liked seeing all of that, all of those moments with him. And there's something that he says that was just perfect. And, it's exactly how I think about life. It was through the bad times we found who we really were, what our souls were built to endure, and what our hearts could take before breaking. He has history, and he's trying to break through his fog and have a better life when he meets Elodie. And then they're confronted with this situation. Can they both keep moving forward? And something I loved about them is that even though there were really, really tough times, and there was times where my heart just broke and I felt it in my throat when how Elodie felt, they kept turning towards each other. They kept wanting to, Asher can't help but want to protect her and be her strength. And Elodie feels that and feels supported by that and gains her own strength when she has none in reserve from that and feels that for him. And I just loved that. It just made my heart just so happy, even though it was really stressful. I could feel their connection. I just loved, of course I want rainbow and butterflies in my love stories, but also the love stories that I like are very real and very real life, with characters that I feel like are real. Situations that could happen to anybody, and this search certainly is that type of situation. And I just wanted the best for them. I got a little pissed at Asher. I have to admit, he was making a choice that I didn't like. Nobody that reads it is gonna like, although I understood why he was making that decision. Thank goodness Abigail straightened it all out for us, and there's a happily ever after at the end of this book. The epilogue was adorable, and I loved it. I'm so glad I found Abigail, because I'm such a fan now. Let me know if you have read her other books in this Easton family world. I would love to hear your thoughts on them. Don't forget to subscribe down below if you like this video, and also make sure you come say hi to me on my social media, which is Kat Reads Romance on Facebook and Instagram, and also you can join my Facebook group, Kat's Romance Readers. Thanks for hanging out with me today, guys. I'll see you soon. Bye.